Welcome to our last part of our video series about the impact of COVID-19. If you haven't been on our other parts of the video series, just click on the description below. How does the global pandemic show its impact to Singapore? Panic buying, price gouging, and airlines STI crashed down to 6.83%. Consumers across the world from Singapore to the United States have queued at supermarkets in recent weeks to stock up on items ranging from rice and hand sanitizers to toilet paper. Panic buying and price gouging of personal protective equipment (PPEs) such as masks began with the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in Singapore on the 23rd of January 2020. By the 24th of January, both N95 and surgical masks had run out at retail outlets. The Ministry of Health assured the public that there were sufficient N95 masks in the event of a surge in demand. This has prompted local retailers including NTUC FairPrice, Watsons and Guardian to impose limits on the number of masks, hand sanitizers and thermometers each consumer can buy. The shortage of masks and other PPEs has caused many retailers to engage in profiteering by price gouging and scalping. This included both local brick and mortar stores as well as retailers on e-commerce platforms. The government has applauded platforms Carousel and Qoo10 for threatening to suspend profiteers. The governmental price controller has also issued warnings to retailers who engage in price gouging and requested information from e-commerce platforms on potential profiteers. Panic buying and hoarding of essentials such as rice, instant noodles and toilet paper occurred with the raising of the DORSCON level from yellow to orange on the 7th of February 2020, with empty shelves at supermarkets within hours. In response, both the government and local retailers stated that there was sufficient supply of essentials, urging Singaporeans not to hoard. Local supermarket chain NTUC FairPrice imposed limits on the amount of essentials each consumer can buy, with these limits initially set for paper products, rice products, instant noodle packets and vegetables. NTUC FairPrice and Dairy Farm Singapore announced that it would introduce specific hours for those members of the community who were more vulnerable, such as Pioneer Generation members. A second wave of panic buying and hoarding occurred on the 17th of March when Malaysia announced its lockdown from the 18th of March, sparked by fears of food shortages. The government has clarified that the flow of goods, cargo and food supplies between Singapore and Malaysia will continue, urging the public not to panic buy. They added that Singapore has diverse sources of essential goods and was not facing an immediate shortage of food or essentials. NTUC FairPrice has expanded its list of items that are limited per consumer to include eggs, vegetables and poultry. NTUC FairPrice also expanded its list to include canned food, cooking oil and frozen meat, with reduced purchasing limits for paper products. Aside from panic buying and price gouging, several parties have engaged in scams related to the pandemic. For instance, scammers have pretended to be MO officials engaging in contact tracing. The MO and police clarified that no financial details or transfer of money will be requested during contact tracing. The police have also arrested scammers on e-commerce platform Carousel. On the 4th of April, SPF announced that they had arrested a man for suspected money laundering offences in relation to a COVID-19-linked scam which saw an overseas pharmaceutical company defrauded to the tune of €6.636 million (10.3 million Singapore dollars) over the purchase of surgical masks and hand sanitizers. Ahead of tighter measures on the 7th of April, shoppers queued at shopping malls despite government requests for people to remain at home. Taxi and private hire vehicles were hit by the impact of COVID-19. A $77 million package was provided to help them tide through this period, co-funded by the government, taxi and private hire companies. In addition, a 2.7 million Singapore dollars fund was set up by the government and National Trades Union Congress (NTUC) for drivers who are not eligible. In view of the worsening coronavirus impact, the package will be enhanced from May 2020, extending until September 2020. This will cost an additional $95 million. On the 6th of April, directors of the ComfortDelGro Group, ComfortDelGro, SBS Transit and Vicom, announced its board of directors would take a voluntary 20% cut in directors' fees until the end of 2020. Various banks have suggested that Singapore Airlines will have a loss in FY21, with OCBC credit analysts Ezian Hu and Wong Hong Wei arguing that the airline will have to tap the markets for more funds and possibly even need state support. Singapore Airlines, SilkAir and Scoot have announced plans to slash their capacity. Singapore Airlines will be slashing 96% of its capacity until end of April. The news resulted in STI crashing down by 164.63, 6.83%. Scoot will ground 47 out of the 49 planes they have in their fleet. With the significant reduction in flights, Singapore Airlines agreed to provide some 300 staff to help with possible manpower shortages at hospitals in Singapore. The Land Transport Authority announced that all Certificate of Entitlement bidding for the month of April would be suspended. The circuit breaker period has already and is set to last until May 4. During this period, members of the public have been advised to stay home and avoid going out except for essential trips. During this period, schools and workplaces have been ordered to shut down, except those deemed to be providing essential services. Thank you for watching the last part of this video series. Look for our complete parts of our video series by clicking on the description below. Please click the subscribe button and notification bell for more videos.